Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. A reminder that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. We have a fairly obvious elephant in the room. It was something that we talked a lot about yesterday with the Nvidia earnings. Give me 1 second here, guys. All right, sorry, I had a lot of background noise. Wanted to make sure to silence that. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I am joined by the chef Jackus. We should be joined by Tucker here in just a minute. Obviously, we have quite a few catalysts going on in markets this week. With, as I said, we have the Nvidia earnings yesterday that were kind of a nothing burger in hindsight. Of course, as well, we have the Bank of Japan decision, I think tomorrow or maybe even tonight. So we'll see if these things ultimately do have any impact on markets or if we are still going to remain ultimately range bound, which is what we're seeing in a lot of assets and stocks, crypto assets, really across the board, right? Look at things like Bitcoin and ETH that we've been kind of stuck in a range for the broader part of a few weeks now. So we await clarity. But before we can talk about kind of our expectations for how we expect something like Nvidia to resolve, obviously crypto as well, I'm going to ask if you guys can humbly smash that like button. It is Friday. We are trying to send you off into the weekend the right way. Thank you also for being here on your Fridays as well. We're going to have a great show. But we would love to live in a world where the tech gods and all of their algorithms do not require likes, do not require anything based on the merit of our content. But unfortunately, that is not the world that we currently live in. So I'm going to ask you guys, like I said, humbly, if you can hit the like button for us, or really whatever adjective you need to do to the like button to justify hitting the like button, we would be very appreciative. Oh, it's Thursday. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, man. This range is getting to me too because it's Thursday and I just called it Friday, but it feels like Friday. It feels a bit like Friday, guys, because I have a lot of stuff going on this week. I'm actually moving to a bigger apartment here this weekend, so I think I'm just excited for that. But back on to the topic of markets. Like I said, we did have Nvidia earnings yesterday. It does seem as though, at least just looking at the price action, like they were kind of a nothing burger. What happens from here? We kind of had this interesting dichotomy going into the event where, structurally and technically, we could see the argument for Nvidia to potentially, maybe we're putting in some sort of lower high here. But as we know, with Nvidia earnings, in the past, we've gotten huge gaps up. It's not really the type of event that you really are super eager to fade, right? But it does seem as though, at least this time, we had a bit of a nothing burger on earnings. So what will Nvidia do from here, I think, is a pretty big question that I have for not just equity markets, but also risk markets in general, right? Because we ultimately are very tethered to whatever Nvidia is going to be doing. Of course, crypto has I would say, kind of traded on its own accord, more or less. I don't know if you guys would agree with that statement, but it has been very, I think, just been ranging, right? We've just kind of been waiting for it to make a broader directional decision. Whether that's going to be, and I think ETH will probably be the best way that we can take that signal rather than Bitcoin, actually, just based on my assessment of where we're at with the ETH Bitcoin pair, hopefully being at a bottom, and of course, Sol ETH potentially being at a top. I think you need ETH to lead this market to the upside. And I think the 3,000, that 3,200 level, if you could clear that, there is very, very little argument, if any at all, in my opinion, to remain bearish above that level. Of course, that will be confluent, I'm sure, with levels on Bitcoin as well. But I don't want to yap for too long, guys. I'd love to get y'all's thoughts on the market, especially Nvidia earnings. We've obviously got the Bank of Japan speaking today. Is that going to be a nothing burger, or are we going to get a lot of volatility like we did last time? What are you guys thinking? And what are we seeing in the markets?
I'll let Jack go first because I was a couple minutes late here. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. Well, welcome, guys, to the Thursday's episode. It's going to be a new model where we have our scheduled days here. It's going to be just 3 of us for those of you that do not know. Monday and Thursday, that's me. For my viewers who were wondering, that's where you can find me, and it's going to be always 3 of us on the panel. Obviously, there's going to be rare days when there's like something very specific going on, when there can be like the old 5 of us. Those will be the special days. But yeah, I'll hang out today with Tommy and Tucker, and let's jump into the market. So what am I seeing? I mean, kind of what we expected, haven't we? Right? Like we discussed the Nvidia price action on Monday. Once you guys hit the, let's say, right number of likes, I'm not gonna say the number, but it's higher than you think it is. Then I can continue and cook more on that. But it played out really well, and I think this was probably surprisingly one of the most anticipated Nvidia earnings in all of those earnings we probably had. Not sure why is that. It's like always sometimes. It's like every single time there's something the market suddenly watches on, right? Like in every cycle, people look at certain indicator and they think like this is the one this cycle, right? Like, oh, MACD, oh, RSI, oh, order flow, oh, FVGs, all that, right? The same thing is with these events. It's like suddenly, everything depends on Nvidia earnings, or suddenly everything depends on this FOMC meeting, or suddenly, everything depends on the Roaring Kitty stream or something. So it's like so random. Like I do not know why is that, but essentially whenever this happens, it's really usually a nothing burger. So the Nvidia earnings were pretty good, right? They beated the expectations again. They still making more and more profit. The market dropped as usual, or like as anticipated, just a technical retest. Nothing we wouldn't have seen in the past, right? Like if we look at like, let's say September 2023, right? They beat it expectations by 30%, right? And the market then followed to drop 20% after in the next few weeks. And then it continued, higher for 250%. So that's the nature of markets. I say this with CPI numbers as well. It's very rarely about the number it's released, right? Like lots of people think like, oh, numbers good, numbers green. I press green button, number go up. And it's actually number going down usually because the market is kind of anticipating it ahead. The market has more information than you do at the time of the release. And when that happens, you get wrecked because you are the liquidity. So what matters with these are the longer term trend implications, like with Nvidia, right? They keep beating the expectations. They keep earning more profit. Things are looking good. Things are looking stable for the next period. And my anticipation is that we will see new highs for Nvidia because of that. But locally, price will, drop just to retest prior support, to shake some late longers and so forth. And this same principle applies for CPI numbers or any other numbers out there. You get the release, right? CPI is better than prior months, so technically it should be bullish. But on that very day, the market drops and you're like, what is going on? I didn't purchase this, right? It's bullish on the longer term, but on the day of the release, just a market manipulation. So anyways, that was my take. What do you guys think of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Nvidia smashed earnings, guys. Like they killed it. They beat about as well as you possibly could beat earnings, which we knew was going to happen, right? Like, they know what their numbers are. They'll set their expectations so that they beat earnings. Like that's not rocket science, but the market reaction is unfortunate for sure. Unfortunate. The gap down. I was hoping they gap it up like they did last time, man. That was they beat last May? Yeah, late May. They gapped it up pretty nicely and ran it up to the highs, which ended up being the current all-time highs. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Here, I'm gonna throw mine on too real quick, Tommy. But QQQ on the left, NASDAQ on the right. I mean, or Nvidia, sorry, on the right. I mean, yeah, it's the same chart, right? Like it's Nvidia's gonna. Is it Nvidia leading? Is it the NASDAQ leading? We'll see. But you've got QQQ about 5% off the highs. You've got Nvidia 13. I'd say the NASDAQ's holding up well. But I don't know. I mean, I think my kind of base case for equities, and obviously it will have an effect on crypto, but is that we just kind of like do this type of thing where like we'll probably like my base case is bull chop, right? Like not even bull chop, just chop really, right? Like my base case is like on QQQ would be, just kind of garbage. Like I'm not really expecting a new trend to form, aka a reversal. I would not be the first one to try to fade this trend, is what I'm saying. But I don't know, right? Like the thing has been up only since November, right? Really, really, let's look at like March, right? Like March, this thing was 430. Bitcoin topped out in March, right? It's up 16% while Bitcoin is down what? Like 10, 15, 17, So obviously we don't want the risk on equity indices to nuke, but I think Bitcoin can pump without them. Like this was the bottom for Bitcoin right here, July 9th. That was the Pico top of QQQ, right? So there has been some, decorrelation, right? I don't know. Let's just look at Bitcoin though, because that's what the only reason to look at equities is to see its effect on our precious little internet coins, right? I don't know, guys. I like where it bounced. This was a decent level. More importantly, though, I think is probably like, okay, here, I'm just going to draw out what I think is going to happen in September, which is really just kind of like that. Okay. Like, I'm not expecting this. I'm not really expecting this either. Like, we've talked about the September seasonality and, the episode yesterday and probably the day before that too. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be this hugely bearish month, but even more important than Bitcoin is our precious ETH, guys. Is ETH, which is just looking a bit sad. Obviously today it's okay, but in general, looking a bit sad, guys. Looking a bit sad. That was not the best look right there. I will say this was the level I was looking for to reclaim on ETH. Like basically here, right? That's a nice little normie level. Don't fade the normie levels, guys. The normie levels hit sometimes. They do. But yeah, I'd say I don't know. This is basically your range. I mean, you could draw it from like here also locally, but looks like a range reclaim to me, guys. Looks like a range reclaim to me. What do you think about that, Tommy?
I mean, lower time frame, it's working on it. Yeah. I think if you do reclaim this range, you'll see it reflected by a candle into like 3,000, 3,200 in that vicinity. And I think acceptance above that level is a high time frame definitive range reclaim. So that's what you really want in ETH. It's like reclaiming some of these levels where we just broke down from, prove that it was just a deviation, and break out of this high time frame downtrend that ETH has effectively been in since. It's kind of hard to believe that ETH has basically been in a high time frame downtrend ever since that ETF candle that we put in May. But I mean, you could argue maybe even before that because we didn't make a higher high. But
yeah, downtrend, right?
You need to see some structural breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think reclaiming 3,200 would certainly be the biggest thing that you could do to save the structure.
At least give me one of these, right? At least give me one of these. Give me a lower high. This doesn't count, right? Give me a lower high minimum. Yeah, no, real quick, just wanted to address the margins thing, right? Margin compression in equities, and that is partially why Nvidia sold off, is a real thing. Nvidia, their margins were, I think it was 74% profit margin, and they guided that it was going to be coming down to about 70, which is obscene to sell off a stock because of a 4% drop in margins when it's above 70. Okay, 70% profit margin is obscene, guys. That is insane. Okay, so I don't know why anybody thinks 70% profit margins for Nvidia is bearish, but that is like that was the only bearish. Yeah, that was the only like bearish part of the earnings report, was their like slight margin compression, which I'm really not viewing as that bearish. But they sold the stock off anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, that's totally normal to sell a stock when or anything. Like markets simply do these mechanical pullbacks, right? So I wouldn't overcomplicate it too much. It's totally natural. And as I said, like if you're gonna look at November or August past year, that's when Nvidia was at its first reaccumulation, and they had really amazing earnings too, and it sold off right after them. So just look at the earnings, right? That they came at the top twice. Yeah, and the next one too.
Yeah.
So these are mechanical bounces to just a normal market behavior. And when we go like, how does it affect our internet magical money, right? So what it does is, I think what is going on really is just a huge underperformance by the asset class itself right now, which is obviously pain, as it's most of our portfolios, I assume, of most people that watches us. But I would just say that I really do believe it's the big boys loading their bags right now. Like we had the spot ETF launch, and this is basically the first accumulation post the ETF. It's the market makers selling OTC their bags to them, and I think it's basically like '08 when they didn't let the market nuke until the banks offloaded their shits. So I think it's vice versa here, where like they will not let the market send, but until they are accumulated, and it takes long time for the big boys to accumulate so that they do not move the market, which I think equates perfectly with the range we had. Like they didn't really nuke the market, but at the same time they didn't really let it run. It's been ranging since March. That's six months, and I think at like the more macro assets, other major assets move up, the harder it's going to be for them to keep the prices down. But essentially, the price has to go up on the upside. So the hard part right now is waiting.
Yeah. I mean, this is let's just see here real quick. I mean, wasn't there talk of ancient whale distribution in this range, Tommy? I believe there was talk.
I mean, yeah, I like spot CVD since Bitcoin hit 70K or like 65K has basically been down only. So you kind of, I really think you're just seeing a mass changing of hands of coins up here from like ancient whales who bought super, super low, selling to boomers and people who are going to be holding them, for probably 6-figure Bitcoin, right? Or maybe even 7-figure Bitcoin. But what we have seen for sure, regardless of who's selling, is that there has been a big transfer of coins. ETF buyers, you can only assume ancient whales are the people putting so much sell pressure on the market, alongside of miners, of course, as well. But I think miners have kind of completed their capitulation, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's just like this Bitcoin range is just a redistribution, right, of coins. And I mean, you can see ETF flows, right? Like, and I know ETH, their ETF has been super bearish, flow wise, and Bitcoin had net outflows for like a week the other day or whatever. But I think this drop scared the shit out of boomers, if I'm being honest. But yeah,
the flows are drastically different for Bitcoin versus ETH.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure. I just mean like
institutional interest for ETH yet.
Yeah. No, I mean like, there was some stat the other. I think it was like on what day was it? It was on the drop, right? It was like 300 billion liquidated while IBIT scooped 5,000 Bitcoin, right? Like that's that's just the regime I think we're in. It's just like, yeah, people are gonna keep getting themselves chopped to death on leverage while your dad goes and buys IBIT. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
legit.
That's literally what's happening.
Speaking of this comment, guys, I actually saw a really interesting little conspiracy theory on X this week. It was that Peter Thiel is actually Satoshi. I thought that was a very interesting take.
What's your take on him?
I don't really have any thoughts on Peter Thiel, the person, because I don't know enough about him other than that he owns Palantir. But I did see some comments that he made apparently before or like after they started PayPal about their goal to form like a digital currency that would one day supplant the US dollar. And I was like, who said that? Who wrote that again? Peter Thiel wrote that. I thought that's what Satoshi wrote, but
that's pretty crazy.
I think that's an interesting conspiracy theory that I haven't really considered, but
he's kind of a weirdo, bro. He's kind of a strange guy. He's like one of those like boomer billionaires who you would see in like a TV show where they're like getting blood transfusions from like a younger guy to like increase longevity. Like that is the kind of guy Peter Thiel is right there.
Is that how you say it? Thiel?
It's Thiel, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Wow, look at this normie trend line. That's pretty wild. Look at that. Jeez. Study. It'll probably just hold forever though, and we'll just do this, right?
I see his name invokes some strong opinions.
Neil, dude. Chat. Oh my god, what is that? I think I just opened up like the dev panel on accident. Anyway, 61.1 boys. We are pumping. I will say it. We are pumping. I know it's been a cursed phrase these last few months, but
I was waiting for you to say that. I was like, say
we
it.
are
I was gonna be like, say it.
Say the line. I mean, can't deny it's a lot of green hourly candles. Wait, it's the York session though. What's happening? What?
That's true. Patriots regain control. Hopefully, let's not jinx it, but
yeah. Patriots are in control.
One thing I was saying today, or we were discussing in the BB Discord, was that Max was saying, like, if I remember it correctly, but he was like, there are so many things pointing higher, or like there's lots of bullish signals, and I said I would rather invert it, right? I would rather say, like, there are close to none being bearish right now, or like I do not see them. I do not see the bearish arguments. I think the bears are weird creatures right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not I mean, fundamentally, I can't really think of I mean, there's plenty, right? If you dive into like, margin and the DeFi stuff, right? There's plenty of fundamental bearish arguments, but besides that, like I can't really think of any. You know what I mean?
Just look at the damn Ether chart, right? Like what it has done. It's like the markets are the most, like, we had the largest volume since FTX, bigger than FTX actually. We had the largest volume since the big bottom bear market on Ether on Binance. All right,
Look at that,
that's
yeah.
that's in 2 years. That was
Oh,
the biggest drop since then as well, right? The
Yeah.
largest daily volume. It was the biggest drop since then. It's the higher time frame range low retest. It's the monthly retest. It's where all the liquidations came in. It's like, like you either believe that this is a huge cycle top, and like I do not even like know what is the bear case scenario, because you either believe that like everything is going, because if we cannot lose these levels, right? Because if we do, you are basically losing like the higher time frame range low since 2021, and you would have like Ether going to like $300 or something. Like it's over at that point, right? So
ETH would make
if
a new
you
low, I think.
yeah, you would see new cycle lows, and at that point, is that like what you think is going to happen? Obviously, there is so many just like engagement farmers, right? Those fear mongers, and there's lots of people that want to be fed with fear, like they crave it, right? They look at the mainstream media, they want to be fed with fear. They look at the markets, they want to be fed with fear. It's just some people work like that, but like realistically speaking, right, as we do here, as we have very smart audience, I just do not see any reason for bearish arguments here anymore. It's either up only after this huge higher time frame reset, or it's over. There's, in my opinion, no between, and we can spend some time here. That's totally possible. I'm not, I'm not saying lower time frame drops will not happen, but someone that's been through few big dumps like this, like whether that was May 2021, whether that was COVID, right? Few bear markets. I've been through the Swiss franc drop in 2015 live. All of these, by the way, not like hindsight or anything, like every single day in it. This just does remind me so much of those drops, and I think there will be lower time frame pullbacks. I think the latest one we had was another pretty scary one, but like, I do not see much reason to make new lows. And you guys know how bearish I was prior to that drop, but I think with the Wix reset we had, with where gold is trading right now, silver where is trading, equities where they are, and with the numbers we are getting from the US economy as well, I think I just don't see it all in all put together. So I think bears will be back to their cave soon.
Bears will be back to their caves soon. I like
Yes.
it. I like it, Jackus.
I still like the look of Bitcoin so much more than ETH on a higher time frame, but it's funny because I feel like we need ETH to lead the market out of this
We
current
do.
juncture
Mhm.
based on our assessment of ETH against Bitcoin and Sol. But the one thing I have against ETH is that it is still in a high time frame downtrend until proven otherwise. And I would like to see that proven otherwise. Even sideways, I think on ETH would be super bullish at this point to stem some of the bleeding that we've had. But it's like you said, Jack, this is the level to hold, because if you're not holding it, then I do think at that point structurally ETH would favor a move much lower. But for Bitcoin, I think it might be a little bit more nuanced than that, because obviously Bitcoin has come up way higher from the bear market lows than Ethereum. So I don't know what it would look like for, am I lagging a bit? Oh no.
You did for like 2 seconds, but you're good. Oh,
It's
wait.
like whenever I have this one.
Oh, now you are. Big time.
Rock.
You weren't.
Look
no.
at it.
Oh,
Cut it there.
oh
Yeah, wait,
no.
screenshot that. Screenshot that.
No, don't screenshot that. Don't screenshot that. I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it.
All right, no, you're good. You're good.
I fixed it. You know, like if we did have, like if we broke these lows on a higher time frame, if we broke the support, I think for Bitcoin that's just probably it probably turns into a macro higher low. But for ETH, it would literally be detrimental. Like it would be the death of ETH party spaces would make a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
like,
think they are making a comeback, bro. They're making a
It
comeback.
is almost getting like the FUD is getting so gluttonous on ETH that I don't even enjoy making fun. I kind of do on a personal basis, but watching
Mhm.
everybody just pile in on ETH at this point, I'm kind of like, all right, well, it's kind of played out. We all know it's a piece of shit, but it needs to like it's our piece of shit and it needs to bounce.
Mhm.
it's been, do you know what's also crazy? Like it pumped so much from March 21 till May 21, and like those 2 months, or like, you know, it was like 2 months, less than that actually, because it happened midway. But since then it's basically been just sideways, and then it's been downward trending since September 2022. It's 2 years, but it hasn't made a lower low yet since like that March leg, right? Like that was the impulsive leg, and it did not still made a lower low since then, which gives me a belief, and especially given how still the USD pair looks on the higher time frames, that it should be moving higher from this, you know, very weird, super extended downward channel that we do have right now.
The weirdest chart I've ever seen.
I mean,
Weirdest chart
we
I've
got
ever
loggles
seen.
on it. We got the loggles on, but price is not
Still.
seen since 2017, guys. That's crazy that ETH BTC is the same valuation as 2017.
You just need to tell
Like,
that to somebody when they say
That's
that it's a better
wild.
hold or is a better
Listen,
hold than Bitcoin at all times.
You literally have to
About
play
the
it quickly. You have to.
depending on which party you are on, you will either say that this chart is just downtrending forever, or you will say it's an uptrend since the beginning.
I would say it's an oscillator, right? Like you have to play it cyclically. You have to. Like you have to and buy and eat and buy, like you have to.
For now, but at some point it will either have to trend up or down.
Yeah, it either bleeds forever against Bitcoin
Yeah.
or
It either bleeds forever or
I think we get a trend fairly soon.
yeah.
I think we get a trend on it fairly soon.
Yeah, we're gonna rip, man. I'm not Q4 into Q1, you buy this chart, in my opinion, and turn off your brain. That's it. Wait, hold up. could you address this, Jackus? Some good alts to hold over the next year.
Well, are you part of the BB Discord? If not, I highly suggest so.
Yes.
To discuss individual alts.
Give him
But,
one. Give him one or two. Give him one or two.
I mean, Kaspa is still a great hold, right? Pepe too from the meme sector, even Andy and RNDR, just to name a few. I think that's pretty decent one to begin with.
What do you guys make of this chart, man? This has been, I mean, I am a Caspa hater at times, but
this is
it's like,
right?
No, it's kind of too, yeah. But it's kind of like, listen, it's like Bitcoin since March, except instead of downward trending, it's upward trending.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like Soul ETH, Tommy. I will give you that. It does. I mean, I don't think it looks terrible.
I mean, if Bitcoin, as we do anticipate, heads to new all-time highs, and at that point, really the liquidity is coming in. At that point, you'll see ETH break 4K, and that's when the real party starts. It's hard for me not to see Kaspa at like the dollar values.
Yeah. For me, it's always been, will it outperform Andy and Wolf and Pepe? And the answer is, I mean, the problem with that question though is that, yeah, it only went up 2x in 6 months talking about Caspa, but it did not nuke nearly as hard. Right. So I think it probably deserves a place in the portfolio, but
What, Kaspa?
Yeah, just because it does not draw down like that.
Of course it does. Like it's clearly shown that it's the market pick. It's outperforming. It's holding well during downside. And when upside comes, it's probably gonna outperform once again to some degree. Like it's a mid cap, so it's obviously not gonna do the returns of like Andy when the upside comes. But it at the same time doesn't include as much risk as Andy right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on personal preferences of individuals, but it's really looking good. Everyone should hold some Kaspa. Like people should be. I think one of the worst thing people do is not being diversified. And even if you think you have the best runner, and you might get so lucky enough that you actually get it, if you are too much on that coin, 99.99% of you will not be able to handle the emotions associated with it when it moves up and when it moves down on pullbacks. That's another reason why you want to diversify.
Yeah. I'm just seeing this on so many coins, dude. You're getting this like bullish RSI with like the contraction of MACD, right? Like the pinching. I'm not like a MACD enjoyer usually, right? Like I think it is a good tool, but like the pinching action of it is what interests me, right? Like, and if you put Bollinger Bands on this thing, right? Like it's so pinched, dude. It is so pinched. It's crazy. Like
Everything is.
We're gonna
like
get a
if you
huge move out of that.
If you're gonna go on Bitcoin, look at how squeezed it is. Volatility sidewise, like that's crazy.
I mean,
It's literally,
that, I don't know. I see the similarities to the last time this thing ripped. Same with Wolf, man. Literally the same thing. Yeah, there's about to be a big pop. I said that last night and we got it, which was nice, but oh wait, you guys aren't ready for that alpha. Sorry. So sorry. Are we ripping on Bitcoin though?
We're kind of just we ripped and now we're showing strength.
We're hanging out.
Just hanging around.
Just hanging around,
Just
yeah.
hanging around.
Boom. And then study this one. It's just golden pocket to golden pocket, man. That's all it is.
Saying it's a range within a range within a range within a range, Tucker.
Yeah, essentially, yes. I mean, this is literally going to be September, probably. Like, that's kind of what I'm expecting. So, also, you pull up the heat maps. Everybody who's short has their stop like right here. So, I expect them to not be comfy holding that for too much longer. I mean, it is. If you're short from like March, it is gluttonous. It is Tommy, you have to agree. Like, it is gluttonous to just be like, yep, I'm just gonna put my stop like right here and just hang out for 6 months.
I mean, who's holding a short though from like
I don't know. People are, bro. People
like,
are for sure.
I don't even know who would be doing that. And it's probably one of those cases where you've had people think that the bottom was about to fall out, so they DCA'd into the short and then got their eyeballs squeezed out.
Yeah. Hang on, weekly Bollinger Bands.
It reminded me of what are you doing? Who? Me? Nothing.
Oh yeah. Just hanging around.
Just hanging around.
Oh man. Okay, wait. So where's the yeah, this one. Let's get rid of all this fucking sorry. Shouldn't curse on YouTube. Bollinger Band with percentile. This is some Eric Crown stuff. That guy is a Giga Chad, and I do enjoy he's one of the few crypto YouTubers who I actually do enjoy his content. But anyway, how do I change the color of that line? It looks terrible. Bollinger Band with percentile, right? This is when the Bollinger Bands get incredibly pinched, right? You get these blue bars popping up. I mean, last time we got a good pop, obviously they've been pinched for a while. Volatility is dead. Dead. Also, we had a nice pinch back here. Very nice pinch back here. You don't really get tops when volatility is this dead, right? Like look at the BBW, look at the width percentile, right? Like you just don't top. Oh shoot, that's gonna screw up the Bollinger Bands, isn't it? You just don't top when volatility's dead. You just don't, right? Like I refuse to believe this is like the top of the top of the top, right? Like it's just not how you top.
We are basically like July 2020.
July 2020. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, literally right there. Like, let's
Except
turn these
we are
off.
at all-time highs already.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was pointing out the other day, right? Is like just measure from like the bottom to where I'm just gonna say when you broke this local high, the pump started, right? You had 679 days of garbage, absolute garbage before you broke the local highs, which for us would be all-time highs. Funny enough. So far we're 644 days into the garbage, right? And like I say garbage, this was like a 4x move out of Bitcoin, by the way. But 644, that's like a month, guys. That's like a month difference, right? September is up next. So, take it for what you will, but like it's pretty significant data in my opinion.
Let's look at, everyone talks about this September being the worst month and how everything's going to dump. Let's look at September 2020.
600 days also. There you go. September 2020. Yeah. I think you were down. That's August 31st. Yeah, September was fine. If you go to, let's look at the monthly. September was, I think it was 7% red, by the way.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, it was, 7% red. Also, it was green. It was green in 2016. It was green 6%. So, I mean, Septembers of halving years and election years are really the only ones that are relevant, in my opinion.
I think what, as I was
Can
saying,
you guys
like,
hear that scratching noise, by the way?
yeah, we can.
That's my cat. I'm so sorry.
The fuck they're doing over there?
Yeah, seriously. That's boy.
I think really it comes a lot with the context, right? So like, as always, what's the most important is like looking at the price where it is right now rather than these events. And it's like with the Nvidia earnings, right? So like you get pretty good earnings, but it comes after a huge V-shaped recovery and at a resistance. So the market drops, right? But if it came at the lows, it would surely send the price way higher. And so I think it's the same with like the seasonality. I think the seasonality is a good tool, but if we had the big dump in August, then I think that September, maybe it's not gonna be like instantly sent to the Valhalla months, but it can be like, let's say, July 2020 or something, right? Something in that regard, where like it seems we have 3 days left. We'll see. There is going to be lots of fight regarding the monthly close, but let's say that we probably gonna close like red, but just slightly red, right? So good chances, especially if you look at the past months, we basically had like March was up months, right? Then you had April, it was a down month. You had May, that was an up month. June was a down month. Then we had July was an up month. Then September was a down month. So good chances that September is going to be up month again. But yeah, we don't put too much weight into it.
If we go up in September, that would be phenomenal. That'd be fantastic.
Seasonality, bros, or seasonality is irrelevant, bros, would never let you hear the end of that if we go up in September. So
Wabi,
much
man. Wabi would be upset
that they'll ignore the sell in May, walk away alpha again.
Yeah, they will. Oh boy, look at that. Oh boy.
Actually, I had a stat, Tommy, on sell in May and go away, and it kind of does work, but not in the election years.
It does work, but not in election years.
The sell in May and go away kind of does work because usually you get like August and September seasonality drop. So usually like even in up years, you do well for the rest of the year. You just do not do as great as you did from January to May, right? That's why sell in May and go away was a term. But it doesn't work in election years. In election years, it continues to rally through the rest of the year. If the first months were bullish, then it continues to go up for the rest of the year, seasonality speaking.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you have a good Q1, you're going to have a good Q4. You usually correct Q2 or Q3. But usually if you have a good start to the year, you're going to have a good end of the year.
Yeah.
We're just going deep on the seasonality.
Can you read the comments, Tucker?
Yeah. Oh, no. I have you on speaker. Oh. Your 4-year-old. This is advanced. This is advanced stuff for a 4-year-old, man. I don't know if that's
Let
the
me
move.
tell you.
I understand.
That 4-year-old is going to be the future Warren Buffett, though.
Yeah, that's true. If he's absorbing this like a sponge, well, here's the thing, man. Warren Buffett kind of washed, in my opinion.
No
He's kind of
way.
washed, man. Yeah. The guy's been
Why?
selling. The guy's been selling for like 2 years in anticipation of the recession, and it's just
Listen,
not here.
He can't do his whole book in one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it
listen,
would be completely
he-
over, but
he has a liquidity larger than most countries in the world. It takes time, right? Like I think for lots of retail people, they'll be like, why is he selling, right? Like, we are up this week. And he's like, bruv, I gotta be unloading for 2 years. So that's
no, yeah,
entirely different scenario.
he's thinking in decades. I understand that. He's thinking.
Put the twop on for literally 2 years straight.
No, but that's
Yeah.
maybe he's not washed, but like taking signal from Buffett selling Apple is not the move. Okay, that's really what I'm saying. I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if you're a retail trader, what you should take from it, right? It's like the way you look at interest rates, right? Like, they do affect markets so much, but it doesn't affect them straight on the day, except like the straight date volatility. But like the effects that you have from it, they take time to unfold in the economy, and that's the same for him. Like, I think he's going to be right on the thesis, and he's going to be the one saving the US market probably in like the next few years when he buys the dip, right? But he needs to be uploading ahead of it, which is what he's doing now. So the signal you can take from it is like, know that things are not as fairy tale as lots of people will tell you that we will go up only, but also do not like sell everything because he just sold. Right, that's not the move.
Yeah, but also to add to the he's washed case, he did miss tech completely, right? That did happen.
True.
Right. Okay. Just washed.
Well, if I miss the tech at his age as he did, I'll be happy.
Yeah, no, if I had $1 gazillion and I've just been buying the S&P since an apple was worth 2 pennies, like, who cares if I miss tech? Of course he doesn't care if he has a
He's a gem hunter, man. He used to be in the shitcoin weeds,
he
getting
used to be a shitcoiner, now he's a boomer. Yeah.
True.
We all will become one at some point, though, Tucker. Respect. It's like when you're talking about comparing eras for sporting purposes, right? Like, you're gonna when you talk about Wilt Chamberlain against someone like LeBron James, how do you even compare them? Because they play in completely different eras, but they're equally as dominant in their respective eras. Even though, I mean, like, obviously Wilt Chamberlain was playing a bunch of guys a lot shorter than him, so his stats look way more dominant in comparison. Just like buying the S&P at 2 cents, and then riding it up for 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, boomers have the greatest they're the most blessed financial generation of forever. Like, it's not even close, man.
Well, they created it, and it's also going to be the boon that kind of, I mean, it probably is going to at some point reset the demographics in America to some extent, whether that's, in a few years, whether that's in 10, 20 years, we're not sure. But I mean, boomers have they have created it for themselves, but also it has been, like you said, it's probably been the single most favorable 40, 50-year period financial markets have ever seen.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I told me the chart because I gotta leave in like 9 minutes.
Oh, cook, baby, cook.
Look at this weekly candle. Nobody's talking about that right now. And obviously it's not over, but we absolutely swept this liquidity of these last 2 up candles. And you know what the sentiment was during this drop just 2 days ago. Look at this level. How clean is that? Right? Like this is what you need. You need to look at this chart and be like, yep, that's a clean level. I'm buying. And you know what? I'm just gonna hold. I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna fucking retire of this buy. And what you don't want to be is the guy who like ignores this chart. And the hard part is that you will buy on this, right? And then the next day you're gonna wake up and it'll be like, am I a millionaire yet? When Lambo, right? You will pull up the 1 hour chart. You'll be like, oh shit, bearish retest. This is not looking good, bro. Like, it's bear market. And no, it's not good. Like, I think it's, going lower, right? That's what people are doing. So it was a locally speaking here, it was a bear market, or like, well, not bear market, but like mid-cycle pullback, or like the trend was bearish here on the respective time frames. And I was saying that like the moment we broke down here, I was saying that like we are most likely heading lower to retest the higher time frame support. That said, that we were bearish on this time frame, which is true, but we are bullish on this more higher time frame trend, right? Like you just need to be the chat. You do not want to be the virgin loser, the community member, who's doing arbitrage bots and reading fundamentals, right? You want to be the chat who is seeing higher highs and higher lows, and that's all you need to see, right? You need to see this bull market, and you will see this, and you will retire because of that. You don't want to be constantly stopped out. You don't. You like I want you guys all to make it. I swear, this was the most. I've been through the past cycle. I've been through all of this every single day. I swear to you, it doesn't even look like it right now, but this cycle has been far worse than the prior one. I do not know why that feels that way, but it was. Maybe it's like the longest alt underperformance. Maybe it's these very short periods of time when the market is actually ascending versus when it's just going down perpetuously, right? Like you have here, you have a few, here you are still scared as fuck, then here it pumps, you suddenly feel good, and you only feel good for a few weeks, and then it's down only again, right? So maybe that's the reason, not exactly sure. Like here, right? Quick move, and then again, slow bleed. But I want you guys to do well, and I think it's from here. I really do. I do not see reasons to go for this low anymore unless it's over.
Yeah, and it is not over.
I do hope that once again, in a few months, lots of you guys will come to the chat and say like, I'm so thankful for listening to you guys and not jetting my bags at the hard time frame support. It was really quite simple, but at the time it was hard, and just kind of like, thank you. All that's needed. Yeah, maybe last one above for the Nvidia chart, right? We discussed exactly this. I do not know if you guys remember, but I was putting in the line chart, and I was saying that we are dropping to like it's totally, it's a V-shaped recovery. We've just hit a resistance, and a pullback is likely to this breaker level, to this support. But essentially, that's and then if we zoom in, that's exactly what has happened. So just a normal casual pullback in the market. Do not see much reason. And even if like this goes for further liquidity, right? Like you could see, you could get like one more spike down here, maybe even to these levels. I think like what it means for your internet magical money is that it's looking good for higher prices here still. And although I do think that it heads into higher time frame range, but and we discussed that previously, right? I think I have it right here, which is what we were discussing right here. So I think there is time, and things will be good, guys. Anyways, gotta leave. Hope you guys enjoyed the cook session from me here a little, and the guys will guide you for the rest of the show. All right, see you guys.
We will. Thanks, Jackus.
Let me check the like button.
Yeah, I was literally about to mention that.
Have you guys been fulfilling your duty? Your voluntary duty. You have about 10 seconds to FOMO like before I open.
Oh man, hang on. I'm opening it.
Okay, not bad.
Okay, 223.
Not
223.
bad. I'd love if we could get up to 250 before the end of the stream, guys. We've got about 10 to 15 minutes left on this stream. If you've been enjoying the content, we would be very appreciative if you could drop us a like. For those YouTube algorithms, those tech gods that have to that require us to have high like button numbers just so they can promote our channel with the big boys. But fear not, guys. BB, like I said yesterday, we have been here every day throughout this hellish range of Bitcoin and ETH, as we've just kind of awaited, right, that higher time frame directionality. But we have been here, like I said, every day cooking you guys up as much content as we can. And of course, some great products that I will touch on as well here in about 10 minutes. So yeah, thank you again, as always, for being loyal viewers. As much as we joke about you guys hitting and not hitting the like button, we are very appreciative that that so many of you continue to tune in on a regular basis.
Tommy, remember this chart?
Dude, I don't even know what to make of this chart.
You guys don't even understand. Tommy and I were trading this here. Oh my god. Actively trading, I'll say. Actively trading, not long-term investing, unfortunately. Oh man. Let's see. What do you guys want to look at? What does chat want to look at? Because we can look at whatever. I mean, we've looked at majors, we've looked at equities, we've looked at some micro caps and whatnot. Let's see.
We haven't looked at MOG.
Yeah, Tommy, actually, this is a fire level.
For Popcat?
Study that.
I mean, it has to be. It literally has to be.
Study that, bro. Let's fit our bias here. Hang on.
Like this is it looks like a vertical accumulation pattern to me. I'm just kind of wondering where the volume is going to come in to break this thing out.
You just don't want it to pull a MOG, right?
Yes, that is exactly
and like
correct.
Vertically accumulate and then nuke. Right. You don't want it to pull one of these. Boom.
Anything but soybeans.
You don't want to be like right here. Huh?
Somebody said anything but soybeans for us to look at.
Is pickle over? I don't know what pickle is.
It's probably some soul shit coin, man. Let's look at Retardio, actually. That's the name of the coin for those who are actually unfamiliar.
Is that is there a
I mean, this is kind of like I feel like this is a boys club on Sol type of play, right? Like the chart looks the same.
Is this as much data as we can get? I mean, it looks fine, you know. I wouldn't say it looks great, but
am I in KeyCat? No, I am not in KeyCat anymore.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That was that was a play we sold. I think it was at like 20, or where did KeyCat go again? I forgot. I've tried
we were buying it at like 30 mil and it went to 80. I think I sold a good bit at 50 and then some definitely underwater after that. But the thing went down like 90%, guys. The thing went down like 90%. So
I feel like every base coin except for Brett went down.
Oh,
basically.
Brother.
Look at
Study.
DGen. Well, that's true. Base Pepe went up a lot.
Study this bounce, bro. What are we talking about here? DGen?
Good old DGen. Got a Bybit listing and did nothing but go straight down.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, this is CoinEx, yeah. This is Will's Outlook territory, bro. This is Will's Outlook territory right here, man.
Territory,
it
but
is.
Am I gonna let this coin hurt me again? Probably not.
I mean, that's the Will's Outlook pattern right there. Maybe that's its only hope at this point. You're not getting a
that's one I would let go sideways for a bit before I try to pick a bottom.
You got to let it cook a little bit longer, and you got to get some. You got to get this. Okay, you got to get this. Yeah. That's what you need on DGen. Son Pepe. What do you want to know about Brett, bro? What Haggard? Please explain the Brett chart. What? I don't have a bearish Brett chart. I don't, because I saw you ask that earlier. Like what? This isn't bearish, guys. This is not bearish. You know, you want to study divergence. You know, I'm not even going to draw it out. You can see it, right? I'm sure the Bollinger Bands are pinched. VWAP, actually, that's kind of a good level. Get above that, you're good. Get back inside the quarterly, you're good too. Yeah, you're pretty pinched. I think you're going to get a big move on all the boys club pretty soon. Oh my God. Guys, I drew that on the chart. Max just texted me oh my goodness, guys. I drew that. I said that wasn't gonna happen. Oh my God. You guys really clipping that? Oh my God, guys. I said it's not gonna do the normie. Actually, I might have said it sarcastically.
This is
I said, oh yeah, you're probably just gonna do this and then go down forever. Like I shouldn't even draw it again. I'm gonna get clipped again. Oh my God.
I feel like this is what the audience loves to do, though. It's like we have one moment where we say something remotely bearish. Like, oh, I like that sentiment. Fading this right now. It's like, all right, well,
like fade that like fake
sentiment for 6 months, then we've just been in a range.
Yeah, guys, like I'm not bearish this chart in the slightest. Okay, I like this chart. I like these normie trend lines because everyone's like, I can't even redraw it because you guys will clip it again. But you guys want some bull propaganda on Brett? That's fine. Done and done. Where's my higher? You guys see that template? It's called higher. Okay.
I think I know where you'll be taking profits, though. At least starting to.
Where? At the 1618?
Yeah.
Well, let's put it on log. Let's be fair. Let's put on the loggles, Tommy. You've become a log enjoyer too.
Loggles on some of these charts, man.
What is that? 4 bill? Feels too low. Feels too low to me, man. It feels too low. But chart is just not bearish. God, I can't believe that just happened, guys. That's unbelievable. Okay. Live Edge Lumber. LELC. Okay. Live Edge Lumber. All right, we're good, bro. We're good. I'm not mad. Nobody's mad. It's just funny. It's just funny stuff. Okay. Nero, Doge, Wolf on Soul versus Wolf on ETH. Wolf on Soul is pretty much cooked, guys. I'm pretty sure. I don't even want to pull it up. I don't even want to give it the time of day, but I'm pretty sure it's cooked. Who said wolf wants the shark cat? All right, what's our threshold here, Tommy? Because I guess we've looked at wolf on ETH, which is about 20 mil. So that can be our threshold.
I mean,
because I don't want to get too in the weeds, but
yeah, we don't want to turn it into a thing where we're just pulling up deck screener and stuff, right? But
no, it's got to be on TradingView. All right, it's got to be on TradingView.
what is Wolf on Soul market cap?
What is this? Who?
Oh, it's 20 million. Damn, they destroyed this chart. Basically speed ran what the MAGA chart did.
What about sorry, it was just
Yeah, look at Nero. That's a big enough coin.
bros. What
Look
is
at
this
that without
right?
log.
Is this accurate?
Yes, it looks like it. Everybody wants to make a meme coin now and just dump on their followers.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
It started July 31st. It topped out 7 days later. 2 weeks later, it is down
The ghost of Kabosu.
75%.
Right? Kabosu, that's the Doge name. The
Yeah,
Doge
yeah.
dog's name. The ghost of Kabosu will ensure this coin never hits 1 billion.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect dead.
Is this in market cap? Like, is this at 7 mil?
No.
Or 70 mil?
This is probably still pretty elevated.
Yeah, 76 mil. Is that right? I'm pretty sure. It went up to 300.
Like multiple Neros on ETH. Yeah, 77 million.
Tron Bull at 55 mil. There's no way that's right. No, it's at 150. It's at 150, bros.
Is Ton Chain producing blocks again though? Because I saw their chain was down for like 4 or 5 hours this morning.
Dude, that was yesterday. Somebody tweeted like the fact that Ton was down for 5 hours and nobody noticed for like 3 hours. Like, unreal. Somebody wanted Doge.
Does a tree actually fall in the woods if nobody was there to hear it?
Yeah. Yeah, man. What do you think about Doge here?
No clue. This is one of the most perplexing charts in all of crypto.
Yeah, I have no edge on Doge either, man. I just don't.
This is like one of those charts where it's the type of chart only loggles could love because it looks horrible without log on.
Yeah. What does it look like? Does it look like let's see. Silence.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say I can't even remember the last time we had like 10 seconds of silence on market check. We're allowing some meditation.
Autism in action, bro. Autism in action. What do you
I feel like something like that's got to play.
I feel like it's got to be. It's not identical, but first of all, I can't believe INJ was $1 last year. That's crazy, bro.
Shout out to Wabi for
yeah
that one.
I could see that. I mean, this is kind of a classic, right? And you've got these, and then you got this. Like, I feel like you're maybe in this phase, right? Where you just put in this high and you're just like, maybe we just. What
does the overlay look like? I'm curious.
I don't think it's going to look good, bro. I don't think it's going to look good. Hang on.
Just take it from
Where?
Take it from, I would say, probably like April or May of 2023 on INJ. Yeah, like right there. Just get that. We'll see if it fits.
I don't think it will. I'm worried that it won't.
It might.
Actually, it might. Hang on. I mean,
This kind of has to be your hope on Doge.
this is like your only hope on Doge at this point. I mean, it's something like this, right? Like something like that. Yeah. Try to fit it anyway.
Yeah.
He said, what did I say? I don't think it's going to fit. Oh my God. You guys are too much. Yeah, I don't hate it. Bid it in December of next year. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But
Yeah, I feel like there's no way that could play out if the market's gonna rip from here. Or
no,
like
the
it would
timing.
work for a few months, but I can't imagine Doge just goes back to the highs and then continues ranging. That would be so awful.
Yeah, no, I feel like it might even be better from like here. Hang on, like ignore the first part of it, right? Like ignore, like just look at this, right? What are they saying?
They're just making innuendos in the chat.
What do you think about this, Tommy? I squeezed it down. Oh, they're gonna make fun of me. I squeezed the fractal down a little bit. Just ignore this.
I mean, maybe, but wouldn't that imply that we're not breaking out until like March or April of next year?
I just don't even care what Doge does. I think Doge is not going to do anything because everybody's going to bid Pepe and Brett and everything else. So I literally do not care about Doge in the slightest.
I wonder if Doge is like a gateway drug, though. You know, for
yeah,
some of the newer meme coins.
I think it maybe has been. When did this top in April? It maybe has been, but like in terms of centralized exchanges or whatever, but I think they're gonna start listing stuff. Like I think you're gonna get like a Pepe Robinhood listing and like probably Brett too. Like Robinhood just they just integrated Solana. So I mean the casino is up and running. Like I don't think Doge is gonna be relevant for too much longer. Not that it won't pump, right? People are gonna buy the thing, but I think this was a gateway drug type of thing. Your Q1 pump was potentially a gateway drug type of thing.
I just don't want to write off Doge just yet because it kind of is like it is at bare minimum the very first meme coin the market kind of speculated on. But some people would even argue that it's like the first altcoin that really got people excited. And you can go and you could probably go back all the way to like pre-2017 to look at the chart to see that, you know, that was kind of like the first taste of altcoin mania, unless you're looking at something like maybe XRP or Litecoin. But Doge is kind of like when we think altcoins, I think that Doge is probably more in line with that idea. So I don't want to write it off just yet because symbolically, I feel like it's important. You know, the first meme coin of the market, the first speculative frenzy of the market that wasn't Bitcoin or Ethereum. So I don't want to just write this chart off because I do feel like if crypto is going to make a comeback, and I do think that it will, obviously, you can look at this chart and I would say that we clearly haven't started the meat of this cycle yet when you look at just purely Doge and a lot of these other charts as well, where, you know, obviously they're trading significantly below all-time high still. I think it's going to be a signal, though, you know, at the very least of retail coming back, because that's like retail at peak was like highlighted by the Doge pumps. So Yeah, I don't want to like, that's a long-winded way of saying that I don't want to write Dogecoin off just yet, but it does, like, I won't say that there are more appealing options, or that there aren't more appealing options like Pepe with boys club stuff. But part of me has always kind of wondered, does Doge need to really start to trend aggressively for the meme coin super cycle to reach its full potential?
No, I don't think so, bro. You need Pepe. You need ETH to trend aggressively. You need Pepe to trend aggressively. I don't think you need Doge to trend. It's its own L1. I think as long as you get, you know what you need to trend aggressively actually is this. Okay. This needs to trend aggressively. ETH BTC. That's all you need. I think Doge can go to literal zero and Pepe will fly. If this chart, like if for some reason Doge got hacked or whatever, and it was like whatever, this chart goes up Andy to billions, like I don't think they need Doge, but
I kind of view that like I totally agree with the ETH Bitcoin chart. If ETH shows strength, it changes everything, because one of the things that really propelled altcoins in 2020 to 2021 was that you had majors run up so quickly. And obviously everybody who was an ancient whale or had exposure to the market before the markup was suddenly much, much, much richer than they were before. So there's that wealth effect. And what asset are most, like what major are most crypto natives holding? It's ETH. I would say still more so than Bitcoin, more so than Solana. You need ETH to go up for that wealth effect to really play out to the same degree. We saw it already, right? When ETH marked up from like 2,000 to almost 4,000, I think it was earlier this year. Altcoins had, that was right in the midst of altcoins peaking. Meme coins pulled 10 to 15x's on like mid cap meme coins, which is, pretty epic pumps that you could size into. So yeah, you need ETH to go up because you need the market as a whole. If new liquidity is not coming in, you need the market that's currently present to become richer. And the best way to do that is for an ETH pump to occur.
We need richer participants, is what you're saying.
Yes, we need that wealth effect that comes from majors pumping to infinity, because then they're going to rotate, right? That's when major altcoin pairs become that much more important, because people will rotate out of majors in search of more gains, and of course as a way to like exit their positions into different pools of liquidity.
What do you think about this chart, man? Think we're gonna leave it?
The low?
You think we leave the naked weekly? I feel like it's similar to this one, bro.
I mean, we don't have to tag it.
I feel like you're just going to do an extended version of this in September.
I would argue if we tagged it, it would not be bullish. I don't think we should be tagging it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Going lower is not bullish for me. But
no, we should leave it. We should leave it, in my opinion, if we're bullish.
Like you left a bunch.
If you come back down to that level, what does that mean for ETH?
It's not good. It's not good for ETH.
And ETH has to lead from here, because ETH is, in my opinion, in a much more obvious looking downtrend than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's still ranging, more or less. ETH is in a downtrend, but it can change that.
We need to get this one right there. That must be tagged. All right.
You want those stops at 70K, Tucker.
They will be taken, Tommy. They will be taken. No doubt. Those guys can't get away with it forever.
Well, if we take those stops, it's going to wick up to like probably at least 75, 80K.
And then it's over for bears at that point, man.
Yeah. There's not.
You're broken out. Yeah. All right, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Let me check the like button just so I can see what our final total is. I'd love if we hit 150 or 250. We hit 271. Great job, guys. Thank you, as always. I'm going to run through a few things before we officially wrap up the stream, and then I will send you all on your merry way. The comment section, man. Y'all are cracking me up today. Something about these markets just bringing out the best and worst of people and all of your out-of-pocket comments. But a reminder, guys, that we have launched our official hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. That is an SEC registered fund with a focus on digital assets, obviously looking to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while balancing the downside risks that are posed in any financial market. So if becoming an accredited investor or LP is something that interests you, we do have more information linked in the description below. Check that out. Email us. We'll do our best to answer any and all of your questions as quickly as we can. Of course, guys, we also have the BB Academy, which has been around for about 4 or 5 months now. And I will say it every day. So you might get tired of me saying it, but we have gotten some amazing feedback from you guys on the Academy, which isn't surprising, right? Because you're able to learn from a myriad of different traders how they trade, how they approach the markets, how they analyze the charts, basically their step-by-step process on how, like, yeah, basically kind of a little bit about what our individual edges are. And that, I think, is in itself invaluable when you can learn from not just one trader, not just 2 traders, but 4, 5, even 6 traders and really their approach to markets. So make sure to check out the BB Academy as well. That is also linked in the description below. Of course, as well, we have the BB Terminal, guys, which is launching. Well, it's going live for our Discord, I should say, this week. So if you are a member, you get to use it. We are still ironing out some of the kinks, but the product looks great. I am super pleased with how it's turned out, and I'm already using it on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm super excited for all of you guys to get that, to get it in your hands, start using the product. And yeah, it's like we've been saying, there've been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into the creation of the project, the product, and it's built for traders, or it's built by traders for traders, essentially. So I have a feeling that you're all going to be able to find some utility, and hopefully a lot of utility from the product. Not to forget, guys, that Market Check, we will be live again tomorrow morning. Typical start time around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are live Monday through Friday, whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Of course, we also have Market Talk hosted by King Wabi. I was on the show a little bit for yesterday. I only said about probably like 20 seconds worth of words, but it was a very entertaining stream. So make sure to tune in for that. If you missed it, and of course as well for all future market talks with Wabi and guests as well. But that's it from us, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for hitting the like button. We'll be back for our closing show of the week tomorrow. But until then, thank you again, everybody, and have a great rest of your Thursday afternoon. Thanks again.